Hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. And hello again, people. Hello, 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 hello. Well, here we all are again. You on that side of the TV screen and me on this side of the TV screen. Now, are the animals all ready? I reckon they must be. Ivan, Yuri and the rest of the team have done their job and now the animals are well drilled in what they have to do. So, are you all ready? Now, who remembers what we saw yesterday? Yes, that's right. Yesterday we saw the Benchfields at the supermarket, didn't we? The Benchfield family, well, apart from Mary, finally made it to the supermarket. Alfredo parked the car and then Alfredo and the kids went into the supermarket. But as soon as they got into the supermarket, there was a problem, wasn't there? Alfredo forgot where he parked the car. Tim volunteered to go and find the car, didn't he? Alfredo let him go, but told Tim to be back in 10 minutes. Then there was another problem, wasn't there? Alfredo and the girls decided that they needed a supermarket trolley, not a basket. But Alfredo only had a 50p piece, a 50p coin. He gave the coin to John and told John to go and get a trolley. Unfortunately, John came back without a trolley. In this supermarket, you need a £1 coin to get a trolley. Alfredo didn't have any change, and the girls didn't have any money at all. So, Alfredo gave John a fiver, a £5 note, and told John to go to the newsagents and get some change so that he could get £1 for the trolley. A few minutes later, John returned with a trolley and also with some chocolate, a soft drink and a magazine. John told his father that the newsagents wouldn't give him change unless he bought something. So, John bought some chocolate, a soft drink and a magazine for his dad. John didn't check the title of the magazine when he bought it. The magazine was called Fishing Monthly. It's a magazine for fishermen, for people who like fishing. Alfredo hates fishing. Alfredo thinks that fishing is a stupid sport. Alfredo was upset with John for wasting money on these things. John got the trolley, but spent almost all of the £5 on the chocolate, the soft drink and the magazine, which his father doesn't want. Anyway, finally, the Benchfields have got their trolley and now they could start their shopping. But there was another problem, wasn't there? Yes, Tim still hasn't come back. Alfredo told Tim to be back in 10 minutes, but Tim is still outside in the car park, somewhere. Alfredo told Lizzie to go and fetch Tim. Alfredo told Lizzie to find Tim, bring him into the supermarket and meet the rest of the family in the supermarket. And now, let's see how they're getting on. Tim, what are you doing? Dad's going mad. He told you to be back in 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm coming. So, who was that boy you were talking to? He's a mate of mine. What's his name? Eddie. Eddie what? Finn. Eddie Finn. What? Was that Eddie Finn? Do you know Eddie Finn? Yeah, I know Eddie Finn. So what? What do you mean, so what? Eddie Finn is bad news. Everyone at school knows that. He doesn't go to our school, stupid. Oh, God, you're so thick, Tim. He used to go to our school, you idiot, but he got thrown out. He was expelled. Yeah? I didn't know that. I heard about him from some of the other girls. Apparently he was always in trouble and then he did something really bad, so he was expelled. I like him. He's a good mate. Mum and Dad won't like it. Listen, Lizzie, just keep your mouth shut, okay? Mum and Dad don't need to know anything about my mates. Don't you dare tell them. All right, calm down. Dad's angry enough with you as it is. You don't need to make it any worse. Just keep your mouth shut, okay? Or what? Or you'll be sorry, that's what. Now, before the two kids get back into the supermarket, let's just have a look at some of the language that they used. For a start, Tim used the word mate to describe the other boy, Eddie Finn. Tim said, he's a mate of mine. Now, mate is a synonym for friend, but for a lot of people, friend is a stronger word.
Playing the old I'm late gag to the hilt. What great mates I've got. Wait, I'm coming. Had an accident. I'm not very quick. Don't go away. Here I am. Welcome one and welcome all.
Some people say that you can have lots and lots of mates, but you normally only have a few real friends. I don't know. Again, this is a part of the language which is very subjective. Some people think mate is a perfect synonym for friend, and so they say that their best mate is just another way of saying their best friend. If you know someone very slightly, perhaps you've seen them a couple of times, but you've never had a real conversation with them, then that person is an acquaintance. An acquaintance is someone you know slightly, but this person is not a close friend. Now, when we think about the word mate, some people think that mate is somewhere between acquaintance and friend. Now, that's one area where we can't decide. Some people think that mate is this, and some people think that mate is that. But that's normal with language. Sometimes meanings are liquid, not solid. Okay, but there's another area where we often hear the word mate. If you go to the UK, then you'll hear lots of people using the word mate when they speak to a man they don't know. When I lived in the UK, it was very common for me and all my mates, all my friends, to address another man as mate if we didn't know his name. Let me give you an example. If I saw the postman and I wanted to ask him if there was a letter for me, then I'd start the conversation with, "Excuse me, mate," and then I'd ask if there was a letter for me. If I wanted to get someone's attention, I'd do the same thing. "Excuse me, mate." Now, this is a generational thing. Not every generation does it. For a start, if you look at the sentences I just used as an example, we can quickly see that the word mate makes no difference to the sentence. We can say exactly the same sentence without the word mate, and the meaning of the sentence doesn't change at all. So the word is pointless here. It doesn't add anything to the sentence. So why use the word mate? I don't know. That's just the way that we spoke. Now, I said that the use of the word was generational, didn't I? My generation used this word all the time, but it was normally only used by men talking to men. Now, if we think about an older generation, say, for instance, my dad's generation, now, they didn't use the word as much as we did. They just said, "Excuse me," without the word mate. Also, some people really don't like the word mate. There are lots of people who do jobs where people want to talk to them. Say, for example, a postman or, I don't know, a policeman. Now, when people want to speak to a postman or a policeman, how do they start the conversation? It's difficult, isn't it? You don't know the postman's first name, do you? He could be called Gary or Barry or Vincent or anything. Also, you don't know his surname, do you? So you can't say Mr. Sutherland or Mr. Harrier, can you? In situations like this, it's natural for me to say, "Excuse me, mate, but..." And here's the problem. It's possible that 12 million people call the postman mate every day and he doesn't like it. So when I call him mate, he won't be happy. The same thing happens with policemen. You don't know the policeman's first name, do you? No. And you don't know the policeman's surname, do you? No. And, well, I suppose you could look at the policeman's epaulets. Epaulets are the bits on a uniform on the shoulders, like these. Now sometimes, like with this uniform, the epaulets are for decoration. But with other uniforms, the epaulets show the rank of the person in uniform. The person's rank is their position in the organization. Are they a private, like this man in the army? Or a general, like this man in the army? So, the idea of rank is the idea of position. What position does someone have in a hierarchy? Most jobs have a hierarchy. Most employers use a hierarchical system. The youngest, newest worker starts at the lowest level, and then, after time, they get promoted. They move up in rank to the next level. And it goes on like this until you leave the job. So, that means that when a doctor comes out of university and starts work in a hospital, they're not the head of a department. They're not the head of surgery, no. They're a junior doctor and they have to work in the hospital and learn more and gain lots of experience before they move up to the next level of the hierarchy. It's the same with policemen. When my dad started work as a policeman, he, like everyone else who joins the police, started as a police constable, the lowest rank. Then, after a few years and when he passed an exam, he was promoted to the next rank, the next level. He became a sergeant. After that, after a few more years and another exam, he was promoted to the next rank, the next level. He became an inspector, and then a chief inspector, and then a superintendent, and he finished his career as a chief superintendent. So he moved up through the hierarchy of the police. If you think about it, most of our lives are based on the idea of a hierarchy. When you go to school, or when you go to university, or when you start a job, you are at the lowest level. Everyone is more important than you. Then, as time passes and you learn more and more, you move up the ranks, you move up the hierarchy, you become more important, and now there are more and more people beneath you. You are more important and they are less important. The Pope didn't start out as Pope, did he? No. He started out as an altar boy or something like that, and then many years later, and when he passed his exams on Jesus and Mary, then he rose high enough in the hierarchy to be considered for the job of Pope. Oh, and Mary's donkey, Stephen. We're out of time. Yes, that's right. The lesson has reached its end and we'll have to leave you. Oh well, never mind. We'll carry on from where we left off tomorrow. Okay? Right then. 3 things. Number 1, remember the website www.m5tv.hu. Number 2, have fun. And number 3, see you later. Bye.